Welcome in again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the R&D Sports Report. My name is Dishmond, and I am joined by my faithful co-host here, as always, Rylee. Rylee, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing spectacular, my dude.
So, there's a little bit of something that happened earlier today, but I want to push that back till a little bit later on, and you'll just have to keep listening to find out what that might be. If you are aware of things happening in sports, you might realize what happened on July the 18th on Wednesday. But otherwise, you'll have to keep listening and find out what we're talking about. But first off, I want to talk here. It was the All Star, I don't know if you can really call it weekend, beginning of the week maybe, All Star Break. Let's do that for Major League Baseball. And it's one of those things to me that it's very interesting, I guess, in a way. Because, yeah, you get to see the best of the best for the most part. But at the same time, I'd be curious to know what their viewer ratings are, especially within the last 10 years. To me, it's one of those things that it's not must-see All-Star Break. Right? You think of like NBA All-Star and like it's a festivity, and you change the game though is kind of the thing. Like for the NBA, you have the issue of that not a whole lot of defense being played, right? And the fact that your offense is more prolific, high scoring. You have lobs and dunks everywhere. So it makes that game more exciting. For Major League Baseball, what do you get? Just a regular old game, right?
Yeah.
You don't get pitchers lobbing it up for, batters to smack it out of the park. Now, I will say MLB did the smart thing and took away the home field advantage for the World Series due to the All-Star game. I thought that was a little dumb. I get why they tried to do it to try and encourage players to maybe put forth more effort. But to me, their issue is more in a watchability category instead of the players wanting to play. It's more of baseball in and of itself, to me on TV, gets a little boring. Now, I love baseball. I love to go watch baseball at a baseball field. But there's just something watching it on TV. It doesn't hold my attention very long.
No. Probably about 30 minutes max for me.
Well, now I can do it longer than 30 minutes, but I have to be jumping between it and something else. I think for me, probably the biggest thing is the fact that I hate TV commercials, and I feel like what I watch all the time, when watching Major League Baseball. And yeah, I know they've tried to address the issue and, putting a pitch clock up and all that and trying to speed up the game. But I'm just not sure that's actually really working for them. I'd be interested to see what their ratings are so far this season, and maybe they've come out. Maybe they'll come out in another week or so. But first off, let's go to the Home Run Derby. And that, to me, is probably the most exciting part of All-Star Weekend. Once again, because you have the most exciting part of the game happening. Right, you have home runs being hit, and to me, that's the best part of the entire All-Star break for Major League Baseball. Other than that, it's just kind of like, it's a game, right?
Right.
after that, honestly, for me, comes the celebrity softball game
Yeah.
that they play. Like, those are in order, like, Home Run Derby, Celebrity All-Star, then the All-Star game itself. You know, when you talk of the NBA weekend, right? It's All-Star game, I think, is at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably swap it with, like, dunk contest. But I guess in the dunk contest, like, you're picking out the one skill of the skills night, which is the most exciting one. And so maybe it's dunk contest, All-Star game, then it's like the Rising Stars Challenge. But at the same time, you notice that All-Star game, you could flop, you know, and argue one or two. And so, you know, I think, honestly, that the NFL has the same issue. The Pro Bowl is just, it's after the season. The only thing left after that is the Super Bowl. And it's just kind of like, it's okay. You know, there are some skills things, but I don't think they get enough publicity. But at the same time, it's not.
It's not
it's not exciting skill stuff. You know, you watch even the actual skills challenge at NBA All Star Weekend. You know, they have to pass it through a hoop. They're running an obstacle course, and they have to shoot it. You know, all in that same period of time. Or you talk about the 3-point contest, like. There's excitement in those, and there's just not excitement in watching someone throw a football or, you know, just watching a regular baseball game.
Well,
like, there's excitement in watching a ball leave the park in the home run derby.
Oh, I mean, I totally agree. I think there's more things to do with basketball than there is baseball. I mean, you got the home run derby, you got the All-Star game, and you got the celebrity game. You think you got the skills contest in basketball, you got the dunk contest, you got the 3-point contest, you got the celebrity game, and the All-Star. That's 5. Depending on what else you want to add. Football is, like, non-existent for me. Like, it's just not as popular as even baseball.
Like, I am more likely, and honestly, I didn't even watch a whole lot of this All-Star game, but it's rare if I ever tune into the Pro Bowl. Like, and that's, you know, I know they tried to change it where... for a 2-3 year time period, they drafted teams, which to me made it a little more exciting. But at the same time, it was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah,
like it's okay.
Yeah, it's something to watch if you're bored.
You know, it's one of those things. And I mean, I can honestly, I've never watched an NHL All-Star game, just because I've never really gotten into hockey. Now, probably if I got into it, I would enjoy it.
I'm gonna try to start getting into hockey.
And you know, it's one of those things. Maybe they're all start, but like if you're ranking them, basketball, baseball, football, like that's the order: basketball, baseball, football, with a large gap between the NBA and MLB. Like there's a huge gap to me in there. And yeah, I get what there is a lot more going into basketball, a lot more areas where you can do, but at the same time, like, couldn't baseball kind of do the same thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you know, have like a stolen bases challenge or something, like to see who can run the bases the fastest or something, you know? Or
well, I feel like they're at their lowest point right now that they just don't even care. You know, like, does that make sense? Like, they're just like. There's no point in trying, that kind of thing. Like I don't know. That's just the way I see it. I don't know about you, but I think there's plenty of other things you could do. I don't know what. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I don't know what else you would do. What about like a pop fly contest? Whoever gets the highest, maybe, like, right? Whoever gets the most highest altitude.
Yeah, or like who
cool.
can hit it the furthest or something. You know, like the PGA Tour even has like long drive competitions all the time, so you can drive the ball the longest off the tee. So yeah, I think there maybe could be some work done maybe around all. You know, like I don't have pitchers somehow go at it. Like that's the problem. Is like how do you do it?
Or just have the pitchers make up random pitches like under the leg, strike, or ball, whatever, right? Over the head. So you throw overhead like you're making.
Well, and the problem really with the MLB All Star break is that, like, even if a pitcher pitches in, that means they have their 5 days rest still after that for their actual team, and so that kind of affects a little bit. For the NBA All Star game, like, you just go back to playing the next game, but at the same time, it's one, like, I don't know, but to get on to the home run derby. By now, you probably know that Bryce Harper won the home run derby in his home park of Washington, D.C. But, there's a little controversy some people have brought up in Bryce Harper's win at the home run derby.
Like he cheated?
Yes, like him and his dad cheated.
Oh, my gosh. Really? I mean, granted, Bryce has gotten into plenty of fights in the MLB. But come on now. Really? I don't know. That's just dumb to me. But I can see why and how. Because, I mean, if you look at Bryce, you think of a guy that fights. And that's how I look at him. Because, I think of Bryce Harper, I think of a guy that's been in a couple fights in the MLB. But, I don't know. They could be right. They could be wrong. I don't know. What you looking at?
So I was in the middle of...
Nah, tell me. What you looking at?
Well, it was talking about Bryce Harper possibly cheating, and
what
that in this case is based on the fact that his dad is actually throwing the baseball. Which, side note here, did you see how jacked his dad was?
Yes, I did.
Like, he needs to have steroid testing done on him. Like,
for real.
His son's in really good shape. Like, I think Dad might be in better shape. But he is the rule apparently within the home run derby is that the ball is supposed to hit the ground before you throw the next pitch. And this is obviously one of the kind of like some kind of like conspiracy thing type,
Right, conspiracy theory, yeah.
But if you go to Twitter and you search Harper cheated, there's a lot of stuff there. And a lot of it's from Cubs fans.
Oh.
Because their guy, Kyle Schwarber, was the one who got beat by Harper in the home run derby.
Let me ask you a question. Was his dad pitching to him?
His dad was pitching to him, yes. And because in the All-Star game, you can pick who you want to pitch to him. So some people pick their dad. Some people pick, like, their high school baseball coach because you're basically throwing, like, batting practice for them.
Right.
You're just kind of throwing them in there. You're not throwing them with a lot of heat. But there is a picture of Bryce Harper's dad already throwing the ball when the ball is still in the air. And this one happens to be on his tying home run. So with 3 seconds left, Harper had 17 home runs. Schwarber had 18. Ball still in the air. Dad threw the ball. That one went out. Bryce Harper hit it out. Which, within like a minute's time frame or whatever it was, Bryce Harper hit 9 home runs. Like, that in and of itself is impressive.
Yeah.
But it I don't know. It's kind of interesting when I went into this kind of wormhole here that you wonder if there may be something to it. Now, Major League Baseball probably won't do anything about it. They're not going to strip a guy of the home run derby because in reality, who really cares?
Exactly. It's not a real, championship game or nothing.
Well, and a lot of your better hitters won't actually hit in the home run derby anymore because it kind of messes up their swing. Right. And there is statistical evidence showing that a lot of batters do worse in the second half of the season after they've competed in the home run derby. So, for a lot, they won't even do it anymore because it'll mess your swing up. But, that's kind of where Dad is with...
Where Dad is?
Where Dad is?
Yeah.
That was a good one. That's a good one, yeah.
That was good.
Good pun there.
Thank you.
So, Harper won. I'm imagining nothing will come of this.
No.
Because, let's be honest, MLB is probably like, whatever.
Well, nobody cares either. It's not that.
Well, and the thing is that Dad is apparently supposed to take the cue from the umpire of, when he can pitch the next one. Umpire's supposed to give him the go-ahead. And, there's a I don't know, a picture that your Dad's not even really looking at the umpire and just basically firing them. So
I say we just put him in jail.
Yeah, I mean, you cheated at the home run derby, man. The historic home run derby.
Yep.
You messed that up.
Yep.
You need to go to jail.
Go into jail. And then you can go past go.
And collect the $200.
Exactly. And
but
then go back to jail.
It's just, it's one of, and that's what's sad is there are probably Cubs fans calling for that.
Yeah.
Just because he cheated. It's like... It's kind of like that dude, I don't know if you saw it the other day, that called the cops because he got fouled an illegal screen in a pickup game. And I was like, really, my dude?
Really?
But
it's also like calling I don't know if you saw it, but that chick that called the police on this little, I don't know, probably 8-year-old girl that was selling lemonade without a permit. Did you see that?
Yeah, I know.
It was on Barstool or whatever.
Yeah.
And
you have a permit?
And it was like, really? Did you see her hide? She was like trying to hide from the chick that had the camera. She's like, you don't see me. you don't see me. She need a permit. She going to jail. Cops get there and they're like, really? Raleigh?
All right. So, with all that being said, the little diatribes of different videos. If you do want something interesting to kind of sift through, go to Twitter and search Harper Cheated.
Or just go to my Twitter page at Rylee_R&D Sports. There you go.
And you will direct them to the Harper Cheated segment, right?
Dude, I got you. I will be retweeting stuff. Just go follow me. Hit me up. And you can tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right.
See, now you're going to have to take your big dive into this and come out and see. And when we do kind of our sports conspiracy episode, we'll have to add this into it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But with that said, let's move on to the All-Star game itself. I'll be honest, I can't really speak a whole lot on this.
No, I can't either. I just saw a couple highlights.
I saw some highlights. I flipped back and forth. As I said a little bit ago, it's one of those things that I used to watch the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But at the same time, it's one of those it's another baseball game.
Yeah.
There's already 5,000 baseball games in a season.
Ain't that the truth?
And it's really, we got 5,001 now. They've got to work, to me, Major League Baseball does on some kind of excitement.
That's
jacked up. Honestly, what would kind of excite me the most is if you have those players and you keep the field the same, you don't shorten it anything, and you play slow pitch men's softball with them.
Here's the thing, though, is they all dress up as mascots. I'm telling you, dude, it's gonna happen. They're going to dress up as mascots, run to first base. As soon as they get that drive right, boom, first place, stolen. Wait, no.
But, I mean, you think about it. You play slow-pitch softball.
With the costumes.
No, not with costumes. Without costumes.
Costumes to the Magic confirmed.
So you play like a slow pitch softball type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And those dudes could probably just jack them out one after the other.
Dude.
But at the same time, you're trying to hit them like 400 feet. It's not a normal softball field, which usually goes like 250. Like, you're going to play regular MLB, like, I don't know, just something to spice it up.
Right.
Put a mascot on if you reach first base. Like, like...
I'm liking you're considering my
like
idea.
the Washington Nationals, right? They always do the presidential races.
Yo.
Like, put Teddy Roosevelt on first when Bryce Harper gets on or something. Like, come on, let's spice it up a little bit.
Or go hashtag mascots MLB, and y'all see us there. I'm going to post after this podcast is done. I'm going to post on my Twitter page hashtag mascot MLB. You can go and retweet whatever. I kind of want to go look and see if there's anybody mascot MLB. Ooh.
But it was what the AL ended up winning.
Yeah.
In extra innings for the 6th straight year.
Yep. Which,
at the same time, kind of gets a little tiresome because it's like they won again. So apparently the AL is the strongest league. It's one of those things. I'd say NBA kind of had that issue with the West being so much stronger talent-wise than the East when it would come to the All-Star game. Now, granted, at the All-Star game, you're theoretically getting the best of the best. But I do like the system they went to this year where they drafted their teams. That they picked the players. And maybe that's the solution for MLB. Like, you get a couple captains, and you let them pick their players. You have a draft where they pick their own teams.
Yeah, like, have a bingo thing, right?
Well, not even that, though. Like, if you go to what NBA did, like, Steph and LeBron, they, it was like schoolyard basketball. They picked their teams out.
See, but nah, I like it being random. Because then if it's random...
I mean, I could handle random if that's the way you're going to change it up a little bit for me.
Because if you're going to put KD, Steph, LeBron, freaking Damian Lillard, Russell... I mean, like, I can name off the whole league right now. But you put good people in front of me, I'm going to be like, that one, the greatest. That one besides the greatest. The one that's besides the greatest. I'm going to pick every last one that's the greatest.
Well, that's kind of the idea, though. But you think about it, if you did this in the MLB and you had a draft at the All Star break, you'd have to decide: do I want the best pitcher out there, or do I want the best hitter first? Because my opponent likely could go opposite of whatever I do.
Rock, paper, scissors.
So do you build the team with like a dominant pitching staff? Or do you build an offensive juggernaut that the other team's going to have a hard time pitching to? See, then that strategy kind of comes into play and adds a little bit more excitement if you're picking people. Like, I don't mind the random idea. Like, that I think would be the second best thing there to do it like a bingo game. But I don't know. I like the idea of people going, no, I want the best pitchers.
Really?
My team's going to be the best pitchers. LeBron, picked KD first at the NBA All Star?
Legend.
And
with the snake.
And so it's one of those things that, I don't know. It added a little excitement, especially if you aired it and you see the dudes get drafted and all that. Like, I think that would add to the excitement of it.
Oh, yeah.
But let's move on to my second favorite thing of MLB All Star Break, and that's the Celebrity All Star Game.
I never did see any highlights of that, just so you know. I didn't even see the game. To be honest, I didn't even think there was one. I thought they
it usually runs after the home run derby. I caught a little bit of it. But obviously the best highlight I saw was Bill Nye,
the science guy.
And that's all I could think of, and the one I think tweet I saw it on is like Bill. But hey, I was impressed that the dude even knew how to swing a bat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I mean, I get you're a scientist and you could probably do the calculations and all that in your head to figure out when I need to swing and how fast and yada, yada, yada.
I was going to say, he's like Tony Stark.
Yeah, he just sat there and be like, all right, I need to swing at 0.3 milliseconds from the ball released from his hand. And
it's like, dude, just play some baseball.
like, I could see that, but I'd say I was impressed. Like, he had a decent swing on him. Like, and he got a hit. He got a hit. Man's not the fastest, but he's also older, so a little understandable, but it's always funny to me to watch that All-Star Celebrity Game and to see the people who are not athletically inclined, but at the same time who are, have really never played like a day of baseball or softball, or it used to be you had the women on there that every time it was hit to them, they'd almost always bobble it. Like there was no way they were going to do it because it was like all fashion models and this and that, and they've transitioned from that, thankfully.
Oh, the ball! Oh,
yeah,
no.
like I'm going to get hit. Oh, run away! Like,
and then all you hear is dead, dead.
But then it's one of those things that now they have women who are athletes playing there, and they play better than a lot of the men do. So, that's kind of my feelings on overall on the All-Star break. Baseball is once again one of those things that I don't know. It takes me a little bit later in the season when once again it becomes more exciting to get into. When it hits that August-September push toward the playoffs, it becomes more exciting and more must-see TV. We're not even talking today about Manny Machado getting traded to the Dodgers and the Orioles getting a whole bunch of players for the fact that I don't know, I can't speak a lot on the Dodgers. I know who Manny Machado is. I know he's a good shortstop. But it's one of those things. I don't know how he fits into the Dodgers, and I would just be babbling if I went there with it. So, with that kind of passing over that to get closer to our big event for the day. But real quick, I want to spend a little bit of time. We have a few ratings that came out on NBA 2K19, which to me it's one of those baffling things. It's like I feel like the 2018 season literally just ended.
Yeah. And
I'm about to get 2K19 out in like 2 months.
Yeah. Which I will get. Totally.
But
definitely.
It's one of those things. LeBron James had a 98 overall rating. That is the one I saw. And part of me goes, that's pretty fair. And then the other part goes, how's he not a 99? Right. What's he missing that he's not a 99?
Look, I'm going to be honest. Twitter blew up, bro. There's people like LeBron haters that were like, I think he should have been a freaking 97 at this point. And then there's also people who are like, he's LeBron. He's LeBron James. Stupid. Other than that, Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum's overall came out, and they're both 87, which I find pretty reasonable. I mean, they were rookies last year, going into their second year. I would think, I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think it is. Let's see.
Are you looking up the ratings?
Yeah, but this says 2K here. Or 2K19, I should say. Sorry. Wow, Kevin Durant's apparently only a 96.
What?
I don't know. This.
Well, I mean, if you look at him on the Warriors, he looks like a freaking paper bag, like just chilling there. Like there's nothing there.
Well, I mean, I'm on 2KRatings.com here.
Yeah.
Let's go to 2K18, see if it pop it up.
If I had to guess, LeBron's a 96 and 18.
Well, he's a 98. And you want to guess what they have James Harden at?
97.
LeBron was a 97, by the way, last year.
Okay. I'm going to guess 91.
96.
What? James Harden.
James Harden is a 96, but
Whoa.
I will say his rating didn't change, apparently, from his 2K18 rating.
Bull.
So he's been a 96 2 straight years. Now, Steph, what do you think he is?
95.
96.
Oh my gosh, man!
Now, honestly, I don't know how accurate these are. I don't know if these are all the ones because we've only seen a few released. And as you said, what did you say Donovan Mitchell was, an 87?
Jason Tatum as well, yes.
And Jason Tatum, yeah. So I guess these must be accurate because they both have them. Devin Booker's at an 86.
That's reasonable.
And
I would have bumped him up. Yeah, that's actually pretty reasonable.
he's a 86, and he was an 86 last year. So some of these might not have changed yet. I do want to see. Donovan Mitchell was an 84 last year, though. So
okay, so he bumped up his game a little bit.
he bumped up. Jason Tatum did bumped up a whole lot of his game because he was an 82.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then let me see. Well, I guess he might. I don't know how they have Ben Simmons listed.
No, they don't.
I said I don't know what they have him listed as.
They said they haven't come out with his rating just yet. If I had to guess, he's going to be
I would guess he's a point guard because that's what he plays. That's what he starts as most of as a point guard. Like even though his body's a power forward,
I'm gonna say shooting guard.
but he runs their offense.
I was gonna say he could pretty much play any position. I'm not gonna say he's the next LeBron because I'll punch somebody if
LeBron would shoot better than he could coming into the league.
Preach, especially with that 2 points or whatever in the playoffs. Anyways, not gonna get into that whole situation once again. I think they're gonna list him as 89. That or 88.
I bet he's an 87 just to kind of keep all that even.
That's reasonable.
Victor Oladipo is an 88.
That's reasonable.
Which apparently he ended up being an 88. See, I don't know when these ratings were.
Well, as you say these ratings off, right, depending on how or when you find them, you got to either say it's reasonable or you got to say why you don't agree. I said that's reasonable for Victor.
I think it is reasonable. The only reason I would disagree is maybe because it's at the same rating, but it may be one of those things where he had improvement in his shooting rating or something, and it doesn't transfer over to the overall rating bumping up. But what would you guess DeMarcus Cousins is at?
56. I'm just kidding. Well, since he's on the Warriors, 99.
He's a 90. Which is the same as Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, wait. Did you just say Karl? Bruh. Cat needs to be at 89. Joel is reasonable. And what was the last one?
DeMarcus Cousins. He's a 90. I think he's probably 91.
I was going to say, I think 91 or 90 is reasonable.
Anthony Davis, his former low post partner, is a 94, which is what he was last year. So a lot of these, I'm trying to decipher their color coding scheme here, but it's one of those things I just don't know
if they're real or not.
Well, yeah, how accurate they are. Now, it has all-time, classic players, and
like old school players like Michael Jordan and all
yeah,
that.
like Michael Jordan and all that.
All right.
And if we go all-time players, Michael Jordan and LeBron are both a 99.
I was gonna say
Michael is a 99 in Chicago. LeBron's a 99 in Cleveland and Miami. But LeBron's new boss, Magic Johnson is also a 99. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is also a 99. So the top 5 are 99 on this on what I'm looking here on 2KRatings.com.
I was going to say, last time...
But Kobe is at number 6 at a 98. Shaq is a 98. Larry Bird is a 98. Tim Duncan's a 98. Bill Russell's a 98. Now, if we're looking at the top 10 current players according to this 2KRatings.com, number 5 leads us into the big news for today. And number 5 is one Kawhi Leonard.
He's top 5.
He is top 5.
Rating-wise?
Yes, rating-wise.
Oh, my God.
And, honestly, this is kind of funny because he has Toronto next to his name now.
Yes. Don't get your panties in a bunch, people. Hold on.
But
we're getting to it. Calm down.
If you take him amongst... Now, here's the interesting thing. He's the 5th best, right?
Yeah.
But amongst small forwards, he's only 3rd best because he's behind LeBron and KD.
Well, yeah.
So,
who
you put him in this position group, do what?
I said, who else would be the better small forward?
Oh, there's nobody better than LeBron and KD at small forward. Yeah. You have Kawhi, you have Giannis, and then you have Gordon Hayward and Paul George. So...
Nerds. I'm just kidding. I love those guys.
Oh, Ben Simmons is here as a small forward, by the way.
Ha! I told you he was going to be small forward.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
I said small forward, not shooting guard.
You said shooting guard.
No, I said small forward.
Yeah. You want me to roll the tape back?
I said small forward, but like if you decide.
Okay, guess what his rating is.
60. He's trash. Garbage. I'm just kidding. I'm going to guess 89.
85. If I had to honestly believe, the thing that probably draws him down is his shooting.
That's so awful.
Like if you look at probably comparative to Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, his shooting percentage is probably so low. But that speaks to what else he can do on the court.
Yeah, I was gonna say his passing.
That you are regarded. I mean, he's still the 8th best or 8th small forward here in ratings wise. So you're still up there considerably compared to the rest of the league. But at the same time, if you're playing him as a small forward, he's not as well suited there. If you play him at the point guard, which is where he normally plays in a normal game,
yeah,
the ratings might change a little bit because then it's maybe a little bit more on his passing ability and all that. His shooting ability probably is what brings him down, and that's honestly the one thing that could make him not necessarily the next LeBron or anything like that, but could help him to take that step up to a level of not a level of LeBron, but like that level of like KD in that.
I was gonna say, slow your roll there.
He's got to learn how to shoot, and if he doesn't, that's going to hurt him over the long term. But back to Kawhi Leonard at a 95 rating today, gets traded to the Toronto Raptors.
I said to the Magic. Get it right.
He is traded to the Toronto Raptors. Unlike Rylee said, it is not the Magic. He gets traded for DeMar DeRozan. Danny Green also gets shipped to Toronto. And I thought I had it pulled up here. But before I get the full trade here, does it say anything to you about the Raptors that you never saw a thank you DeMar? The Spurs even put out a thank you Kawhi thing. Like, just being nice and saying, hey, thanks for what you did. Hey, the fact that we probably, this didn't end up well, yeah, that's an issue. But at the same time, like, thanks for all you did. So, does it speak to the Raptors for not issuing a thank you to DeMar?
It definitely hurts their reputation. Stephen A. Smith commented on it, and I liked his comment. It was on Instagram and Twitter. And, he was talking about the loyalty and how this specific trade, no one is happy with this. Now, I literally probably about 10, 15 minutes before we started recording, I got a notification that it said that Kawhi is slowly starting to warm up to the Raptors. But either way, nobody was happy when this happened. Nobody. Not the Spurs. Not the Raptors were probably happy.
Well, I mean, I think the Spurs were happy.
Well, maybe.
You got the headache that they've had with Kawhi gone. At the same time, you got a first-round pick back.
Yeah. Either way, DeMar was totally ticked. I don't know if you saw his story on Instagram.
Yes, I did. He was mad.
He was mad, and I'm gonna be straight up honest. I do not blame him one bit. I don't blame him at all. Not
Well,
one bit.
Weren't we just sitting here like a month ago and talking about how the Raptors were like, we're not looking to trade Kyle Lowry or DeMar.
And then they were like,
let me
just
see ya.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to get to what exactly each team gets. The San Antonio Spurs are sending the Toronto Raptors Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard. And in exchange, the Raptors will send the Spurs DeMar DeRozan, Giacobotelli, I butchered that name, I know, and a 2019 top 20 projected first-round pick.
Whoa. Did you just say Vitelli? Vitelli?
No, it's Potelli, I guess. Poelti.
I was going to say, they really
or TL, I guess.
I was going to say, they really traded the center. I like the center. Look, nobody said thank you to DeMar except for my boy Drizzy. Drake said something about, thanking him for the games, being the star that he is. And I think it's jacked up that the Raptors didn't even do anything. They just traded him and let him go, like sending a letter. Just let him go and never worried about it again. I think it's ridiculous. The loyalty in that is so jacked up. Not only that, but I look at that as selfish. Nobody's going to come want to play for you if you're going to treat them like that, Especially with someone like fans that love DeMar. Guess what? One, they're going to hate on the Raptors. Two, they're going to sell you out and make you look selfish. And three, you're going to go downhill. At least that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I'd love to hear them.
I do think it's wrong for the Raptors not to, if nothing else, just go, hey, thank you, Lamar. Or DeMar, sorry.
Lamar, hold on.
Sorry. Not thinking there for a second. But, some people were asking if the Spurs were throwing shade at Kawhi because, the thank you to Danny Green, the thank you Danny thing was a lot bigger than the Kawhi, the picture that they put up.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I will say, at least for the Spurs, you put that out there. You thanked them for their service. Even though you've had, some headaches this last season and all that, it's one of those things that, for the Raptors, it probably is a win, even if they don't sign Kawhi after the season. And even if he still does go to the Lakers this coming, next offseason, this time next year, it's still probably a win for the Raptors because DeMar was entering. He'd be age 31 entering this season, and he has a player option. So he could opt out and leave you. So at least you got. Something you kind of upgraded if Kawhi gets healthy, if he'll play in Toronto. As reported earlier, Chris Haynes was saying that he didn't want to be in Toronto, and now Woj just come out, as you said a little bit before we sit down here, that he was warming up to the idea.
No, he isn't. He's colding up. That's great. Man, I'm on it tonight.
At some point I'm just going to have to unplug your microphone there.
Don't do it.
Don't worry, I didn't
I'm just
didn't
kidding.
unplug it, but
Your boy's back.
at this point, it's one of those things you try to, I guess, maybe make the run this year. You've got LeBron out of the East. So if let's be honest. When Kawhi is healthy, he can be a top 5 megastar when he is healthy. Because not only can he bring it on offense, he can bring it on defense. We saw DeMar this past postseason struggle, especially when they played like the Cavs. He struggled mightily. And, can you make a franchise based on him? He's age 31. Kyle Lowry will be 34, and he won't be a free agent until 2020. Which actually I misspoke a minute ago. DeMar would be entering the 2020. It would be a couple summers before he becomes the ability with the player option. But the Raptors didn't have any wiggle room to go sign a big free agent, and they wouldn't have that until 2020. So you you trade and get a big splash here with Kawhi, and you just kind of take the risk.
Look, they did take a risk, but here's the problem. You have to look at the bigger picture here. Is how is he going to get along with Kyle Lowry?
I would imagine he probably would do just fine. At the same time, you have to think of the point guard Kawhi's really kind of been playing with a lot is Tony Parker. And Tony Parker's been on the downside of his career, while albeit still a good point guard. It hasn't been the Tony Parker of old. So, maybe Kyle Lowry can actually take a little bit of that pressure off of Kawhi. And we've seen with a guy like Kevin Durant, and I know you're not going to like this, but we've seen how much he's been almost able to flourish, and his game's been able to kind of expand a little bit when he doesn't feel like the weight of the team is there. He's got more options than just like Russ when he was at OKC. He's got more options there, so he doesn't have to have and feel that pressure to always be the one performing.
Triggered.
Yes, I know you're triggered.
Very.
But, maybe that's for Kawhi, not feeling like he has to be the one in Toronto will help expand his game some. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just chilling. What's good? I was just doing a backflip, guys, and I turned around, did a split on the floor, and I did a front flip, and then I came back to the mic real quick. That's what all that thumping you heard, that's all that was. My bad. I'm just kidding. I can't do a flip. I'll break my neck.
All right. Also, the Raptors, kind of in this. They have the ability to get rid of DeMar DeRozan's $83.2 million that he's owed. So you get rid of that. So, the worst case for Toronto is, you lose Kawhi Leonard next season. But at the same time, now you've got some wiggle room. But in this trade, I think what's being missed is you add a guy like Danny Green to that backcourt in Toronto that can help and help get the steals up, help put the defensive pressure on, and maybe help them get up to there.
Here's another thing is you were talking about Danny Green and all that. There's another challenger in the East now. The East finally has another competitor. Now, I don't really like that because I want the Celtics to go far, but I don't know. It should be exciting. But then again, Toronto got destroyed by just LeBron.
Yeah, so. But they got outmatched there in their style of play. It just didn't work with the matchup with LeBron. But if you can keep Kawhi healthy, which is a big if, admittedly, and if once again, you can keep everybody healthy. You still have, Serge Ibaka there in Toronto. True. You have Kyle Lowry. Now you have Kawhi Leonard, and you bring in Danny Green with it. And at the same time, you have to look. Toronto didn't mortgage a lot of their future in this trade. they didn't give up really, really big pieces of young talent to bring in Kawhi. So, somewhat I think this is kind of a win-win somewhat for both of them. It's another thing, obviously the Spurs kind of take a talent, so to speak, hit because you lose a guy like Kawhi. But at the same time, if you get somebody like DeMar who comes in and is willing to just bust his butt for Pop, like, that's almost more valuable to the Spurs as a whole.
Well, and Pop's loyal. That I think that's another thing is I think him and Pop are going to get along really, really well.
But earlier there were some reports that Kawhi could sit out the whole year. He's obviously still intent on going to the Lakers. Can't really say I blame him. And we saw maybe that's kind of what the Lakers are setting up for next offseason. But it's like you got to feel for a guy like DeMar DeRozan who, on one of his things he was like be told one thing and another, and the outcome another, right? And talking about he can't trust them. Nobody's loyal in this game, and they'll sell you pretty, quick. And then it's like, soon you'll understand. Do not disturb. But it's one of those things that it's like. You got to kind of feel for DeMar because I feel like he put his heart and soul into that Toronto team, into that Toronto community. And he knows that, trades are a part of this business. But at the same time, if you've been told kind of by your franchise that this isn't going to happen, and then all of a sudden, see ya,
Well, here's the thing.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I was going to say, without any warning, without any, hey, look, man, we've been getting this trade. Just wanted to talk to you about it. We love you and we thank you for all that. Here's the thing. Oh wow, I just lost my thought. That's the thing is I lost my thought. What was that? Oh, wow! In the middle of the podcast too. That's hilarious. That's it. It was 9 years that DeMar had played. He got drafted in 2009. Just in case you didn't know. I think it's so jacked up that he did. He really did. He put his heart and soul. He made sure that team was good too. I think it's gonna be funny if the Spurs go way farther than it's gonna be hard to. But I think it'd be funny if they made it to Western Conference Finals, and the Raptors just lost first round. I think that would be pretty funny. It's more of a ha-ha, that's what you get. Oh, another thing. Isaiah Thomas. This is a whole Isaiah Thomas situation. And I get it, he's 5'6" or whatever he is. And I get it, he's small. But come on now. He went from, let's see, where was he at first? He was at the Suns, I believe it was. Right?
Well, he was the Kings.
He went to the Kings.
And that's the thing. Is the Kings at one time, had DeMarcus Cousins and Isaiah Thomas. And then I think he went to the Suns and got traded to the Celtics or something like that. Thought he was good with the Celtics, and then we all know now that he gets traded for Kawhi in part of the Kyrie Irving, trade. That, he gets shipped to Cleveland, then Cleveland ships him off again. But part of that Cleveland thing, I think, just it wasn't a fit.
Yeah, I know.
And obviously you can see his injury might have been a little worse. My guy still signs with Denver and gets a contract, so
I'm excited.
It's one of those things like you feel bad for these guys, but then you look at the amount they're making, and you're like, I don't feel bad for you.
Right. I feel
to be honest, but. DeMar's still going to get his pay, and that's the thing. The Spurs, instead of, unloading a bunch of older talent like Pau Gasol or Patty Mills or something, getting that money off the books and, go full-bore rebuild, they opted somewhat for like a semi-rebuild.
I say we get Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Ginobili, Tony Parker, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, KD. I say we just put them all on Spurs. And then trade them off to the Magic. Confirmed. Ooh, I'm getting it. Man, I bet someone's going to hit me up on Twitter. Be like, if you don't stop saying Magic confirmed, I'm done listening to podcast. But watch. That or just come retweet me and I'll know. I don't know.
So, with all that being said and Riley's little outburst.
Sorry. Forgive me. Love you.
It's one of those things like this seemed to come out of nowhere almost. Like this trade is all of a sudden like, hey, the Raptors are at a serious spot, and then it's like, trade's done.
Yep.
And when you were talking about the trade, obviously for the Lakers, it kind of helps them somewhat because Kawhi Leonard as of right now, wants to play for them. But at the same time, we saw Paul George this time last year, right? When he got traded to OKC, he wanted to play for the Lakers. So for them, their hope is that Kawhi Leonard doesn't fall in love with Toronto and want to stay there. I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's if he freezes.
But if he doesn't freeze. I mean, the only way he stays there, is if he freezes.
Or you can go to warm,
sunny Los Angeles.
Nice palm trees, Los Angeles.
So, the Lakers could have traded some young talent for them.
Don't trade Lonzo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it could have been a combination of like Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, first rounders, all to the Spurs. And instead, they don't have to do that to possibly get Kawhi next year. They can just sign him. If you noticed, and you and I talked about this, they signed a lot of one-year deals to kind of get the Lakers through this year and maybe make them a halfway contender and put your eggs in to next year's basket of trying to get Kawhi and put that full court press. And I won't be surprised if this time next year you and I are talking about Kawhi going to the Lakers. But I'd say, it's one of those things at the same time, nobody's going to be shocked by it.
Or Kawhi to OKC confirmed. Ooh. Paul George, Russ, and Kawhi. I'm teasing myself now.
That is the other thing. Like we talked a lot last week about Carmelo.
Oh God!
And you see how dead that conversation's become.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Butler next year has a player option. Kevin Durant has a player option. I think Klay Thompson's a free agent. Kemba Walker's a free agent. So maybe they end up with one of those 2019 free agents instead of Kawhi. But apparently their main focus will be Kawhi next year. But with all that being said, that I think that kind of leads us into the ending part of this. Otherwise, we'll just keep babbling on here, and nobody really wants that. But maybe within the next couple weeks, we'll work together our sports conspiracy podcast, and we'll discuss them. If you have any, be sure and send in any sports conspiracy stories you have to us. You can do that on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com and /RD Sports. You can search for us. You can share it there on our Facebook page. You can message it to us. You can go to Twitter. You can hit up the podcast page if you like, at RD Sports Report on Twitter. And you can send them to me or to Rylee directly. Rylee gave you his earlier, but I'll give it to you again. It's at Rylee_RD Sports. RYLE on the Rylee, just so you make sure you have it correctly. And then you can send it to me at Dish_RD Sports. Make it quite simple for you there. Send us in any of your sports conspiracy theories, and we'll dig into them and research and talk about them, and probably do that here in the next couple weeks. But be sure to send them in anything you want us to discuss or anything you want us to look into. But with all that being said, that'll do it for another episode of the R&D Sports